roast them up and freeze them for the winter.
Well, what's happening actually is that New Mexico State University got an appropriation from the legislature to develop a GE-type chili, which would be harvested by machine. And if that happens, it's not only going to destroy a lot of the jobs that the chili industry provides in the state, but also it's going to destroy the traditional varieties of chili that have been growing here for the past 500 years or so, you know.
This last July, 2008, Governor Bill Richardson signed a resolution that will invite genetically modified green chili seeds into the state of New Mexico. This GMO Franken-chili threatens the integrity of our traditional seeds, which have been cultivated in Native American and Hispanic families for generations.
We don't approve of that really, because we don't know where those seeds are coming from. At least when we're planting them here, they're straight from the pueblo, and we're the ones that are taking care of it. So we know what we're doing to it, and knowing that there's nothing, no contamination of the seed or anything like that. So
there's so many varieties of chili, varieties from town to town. The Chimayo chili, Velarde chili. People take a lot of pride in their seeds that they were given from their grandparents.
As a farmer here on Tesuque Pueblo land, I feel that it's not necessary for us to go out and buy seeds at these, retail stores like Walmart or Target or, Home Depot and stuff like that. We have our own seeds that we grow here on our lands, and which we save year after year. So I don't think it'd be right for these GMOs to come in and take over and sell them at the stores. So.
Which means then that we're going to have to spend more money to buy the seeds that will only grow for 1 year, because you're going to be prohibited from saving the seeds because they're patented by a certain multinational corporation.
Who is interact with these kind of the things? The big corporations. What they want to control the life of the people in the way we're eating. Also they control in the way you're moving, because they give you a car, they give it to you gas, they give it to you this key to put the car to running, and then what you do is go to the gas station, put in gas, and then you go to the food store to buy your food. Okay? We don't want to do that with the seeds, because when you depend from seeds, you're completely dead. That's the situation. That's the GEs. That's how dangerous is this situation.
The issue here is that because of information now and research on drift, they have found, for instance, that they thought, like, for instance, with corn, that the pollen could really only travel a half a mile. In fact, pollen travels as much as 2 miles, it's been researched now. So what that means, that if somebody is a traditional farmer, due to drift, has his field contaminated by somebody who chooses to use genetically modified seed, it not only contaminates his field, but it completely contaminates. He cannot render a single seed for that entire year from that crop, because there's no way of ever knowing which plants and which seeds were cross-pollinated or not.
Okay, that's why here in the Pueblo we try to grow our own seeds. That's why we say we want to be sustainable and independent community, the same it was 1,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. You don't see corporations, you don't see patents, you don't see any of these kind of the things. We work with respect and interaction and love with the Mother Earth.
This is also really significant, is because once genetically modified seeds are used, contracts are made, are enforced, that number one, that you use the genetically modified seeds, and that you actually in fact destroy your own seed-saving practices. So and so after your fields have been contaminated, you can't save your seeds because they're gone. they're gone.
And so a big question that everyone in New Mexico should be asking, not only small farmers and families, is how is this going to affect my seeds? How is this going to affect the legacy that's been handed to me? How is this going to affect my children?
Well, if, what I would like is for people to be more aware of the foods that they're eating, where they're coming from, and when they see something that's GMO or GE, really do research and find out what they are, because they're feeding their kids all these foods without really being aware of how it's being developed.
I think you people of New Mexico need to stand up and say, no, we don't want this. We know what's right. We want our lands to be the way they are, you know. We don't want pollution.
We don't want to have GEs in this area. We don't want to have any genetic modified organisms in our crops, in our food. Okay, why? Because we depend from the creation and the Great Spirit, and we have to respect the life of the plants and the animals and the humans in this planet.
I want to be able to pass these seeds on to my kids and let them plant the same seeds that I'm planting, and which the elders before us planted on these fields. And I don't feel that the GMOs should take over, because we already have our seeds here. It's not necessary for us to go out and buy our own seeds somewhere else.
But I think people have to be very, very aware of this Franken chili, because the motto in New Mexico is, when you go to a restaurant, red or green. Well, it's going to be red or green or GE.
Are you picking the green ones out?
Yeah, these are the ones that are ready now. You know, we can roast them up and eat them like that, peel the skin off it, and have a good chili with our dinner.
And then what do you do with the red? All these red ones?
These red ones, these will be left to dry, and then we'll take all the seed out, and then we'll keep the pod, the red pod, and then we'll grind it up to make some red chili powder.